Shalom. I just want to start off by saying, Kalayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Chacharash. Want to give the honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect and the Akim spreading the truth at the four corners of the earth. My name is Asha Allah, and today I just wanted a response to the Sons of Thunder. In their Truth Tuesdays, is the MOTB literal or spiritual? So without further ado, I'm just going to play these two videos.
13 and 16. That's where we starting at.
John's book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads.
All right, it says he causes how many?
So like it all.
He causes all, right? So we about to see who this all is. Let's get Revelation 18 and 3.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter 18 and verse 3. And it reads, for all nations.
All who?
All nations.
Keep going.
Have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her.
So
and
notice it's talking about all nations and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, which is the Babylon, America. All right. So let's go back to Revelation. Matter of fact, let's go back to Revelation 13 and 16 again and read that again.
Come on, Revelation 13 and 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads.
So people get confused and think this is individuals. We just read who the all are. They all are not individuals. I'm gonna give you an example right here. It says, and he causes all, both small and great. So ask yourself, what is that small and great? If this is talking about regular individual people, what does the small and great pertain to? It don't pertain to fat and skinny. It don't pertain to tall and short. It don't pertain to money, because the next after the comment it says rich and poor. So what is the small and great? Nations. Small and great nations. Rich and poor nations. Free and bond nations. The bond nations are the ones that are under servitude to another nation. Right? It says to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. These are not individuals that it's talking about. These are nations. Let's go back to Revelation 18.
You can clearly see that this camp is going off, because they're applying that causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to nations. And if he just simply read down, or if he would have went to other verses, you can clearly see it's not talking about nations. It's talking about people. So let's read it for ourselves. And it says, Revelations 13 and 16, he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Let's go on to verse 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of its name. This is simply talking about people, not nations, man. And he went into saying that what is all, both small and great nations, rich and poor nations, free and bond nations, as in vassal nations. And this is clearly what it's not talking about, man. It's talking, if you get it in a different translation, it says what? It forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads. You know, so let's go into both small and both small. And it says what? Mikros. It says of rank and influence. You know, so this both all Revelations 13 and 16, and he calls us all both small of rank or influence, meaning all people of rank and influence. You know, an example would be LeBron James to the everyday person. You know, the person that you see every day compared to LeBron James. That's being of different rank and influence, man. Or Dr. Fauci compared to your local grocery clerk. You know, that's the different rank and influence, man, of all people, not nations. Rich and poor. There's rich and poor people, and free and bond. People that are so-called free versus people that are incarcerated, man. You know, let's go to Revelation 16. Revelation 16 and verse 2. And it says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So why doesn't this say nations? This says, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men. Let's go into that word. Anthropos, right? Which is a human being, whether male or female. So ain't no way this is talking about nations. This is talking about people. You know, like Apostle Tahar said, where's Pakistan's right hand? You know, where's Brazil's forehead at? But no, this is talking about individual people that make up these nations, man. Oh, so I'm gonna play this second clip.
Buying and selling. This is talking about merchants, people from the other nations buying and trading, selling with America. All right, let's read that again. Revelation 13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads.
Okay, so he causes all nations, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads. All right, let's see what is this mark. Let's get on the blue letter. Let's get mark on blue letter. Matter of fact, put Revelation 13 and 16 on the blue letter, and then hit the tools and go to mark. Let's see what this mark is. Okay. That's it. Click on that. All right, scroll down. All right, it says charagma, right? Charagma. What does charagma mean, right? The first one says a stamp, a imprinted mark. Now, understand this, family. Understand this. A lot of people have the understanding that the RFID chip, which has to be, you have to be cut open and inserted into your skin. So the understanding that a lot of people have is you have to get this RFID chip inside you, which you have to be cut and something inserted in you for that to be the case. Now let's look at these definitions. It's this outline of biblical usage. A stamp, that's not a cut. An imprinted mark, that's not a cut. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. All right. The mark branded upon horses. What's a brand? When you take that heat and put the seal on there, put the not the seal, but the brand, you put a symbol on there, right? It says things carved.
Right, right. Hey, that thing, hey, Salakia, that thing, when you brand it, okay, is seared on there, right?
Nah, not the one.
That hot iron, okay, gets in there, and it's an unremovable mark, right?
That's right. That's
All
right.
right. I wanted to use
So
that key word right there.
God, not the
Seared.
one.
Hey, go ahead, King.
God. All right. So look, check this out. So people can say in number 2 it says things carved. They say, well, that's a cut. If you carve something, that's a cut. Well, the next 2 words is letting you know what the carve is talking about. It says sculpture, graven work. So that's what that's saying. It's not talking about incision and inserting, right? All right. It says in A says of idolatrous images. Neither one of these definitions say cut, insert. Neither one of these mean that. Neither one. Do brothers? I don't want. Do y'all see any one of the words that sound like a cut, an incision, and inserting something?
Hey, Salakia, I'm gonna say la, but I can see where brothers are coming from. Okay, when you look at the Strong's definition and it says scratch etching, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can see what they're talking about. We understand that. Okay,
So,
we
so
understand why.
Okay, and they totally broke this down wrong. You know, saying that the mark is not physical, and none of those definitions mean to cut in. But if you can clearly see, I have put 2 comments at the bottom for that word imprinted. You know, we're going to grab these words, but when you go to the etymon of the word imprint, it says to stamp, engraven, imprint. And then when you go into the etymon of engrave, it says to cut in, make by incision. You know, so let's check this out real quick. Imprint. It says what? To mark by pressure, stamp, to impress on the mind or memory. From Old French, imprinter, to stamp, engraven, imprint. So when you go into the word engraven, what does it say? To cut in, make by incision, produce or form by incision on a hard surface, man. So there he go talking about show. Does any of these definitions mean to cut in? Yes, it does. But let's break this down. What is the mark? It's something physical. So when you go into the word, it's charagma. You know, which we went into that word imprint, means engraven, and the meaning of an engraving means to cut in and make by incision. You know, so when you go into the root word of charagma, you know, because the charagma is the RFID, the RFID C hip, which they're going to put in you. Now this guy said they're going to cut you open, trying to make it seem like they're going to do surgery on you, so you can get this C hip, but really it's done by an incision, man. The root word of it is karax, which means a pale or stake, a palisade, and that's going to be the device used to administer that C hip RFID. And from there, let's just go to because I actually let's go to the definition of palisade, man. It says a fence of strong stakes, from French palisade, palisade of provincial palisada, from palissa, a stake or paling. So let's go into this word stake. What does it say? A pointed stick or post. Then that pointed stick is referring to the hypodermic needle. That's the Corox. Just grab it real quick. Boom. This is the Corox, the palisade that's going to be put in you, to deliver that charagma, the RFID C hip, man. As you can see, they have different sizes. But going back, so we found out what the charagma is. We found out what the root word Corox, which is that palisade, that pointed stick, that hypodermic needle. And let's go into the root of Corox, man, which is going to be what? Grapho. And what does that mean? It says to write to one by writing in a written epistle, to give information, direction. So with on this C hip, the charagma is going to be your information, man. Your buying, your selling, your identity, your vital records, man. Who you are is going to, and how you're able to move in this society and to buy and sell, man. And we're going to get that. I just want to read Revelation 13:16 again. It says, and he causeth all people, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the MARK, or the name of the beast, or the number of his image, man. So let's go to these articles. It says what? It says Universal Digital Payment Networks unveiled at Davos, man. And just going to read a little bit of this. It says the publication noted that the Universal Digital Payment Network has been in development for the last 2 years, with contributions from GFT, Red Date Technology, Toco, and DLA Piper. A sandbox was launched in July 2022, where the multiple banks tested stablecoin transfer and foreign exchange transaction. And what is that sandbox? The sandbox is like their the sandbox is like their playground. They get a certain not certain, but it's basically like their testing ground for these transfers, man, and these transactions. It says the Universal Digital Payment Network reports that several Tier 1 banks will participate in a series of POC. And what's POC? POC is a point of concept. So experiments producing results. So they're going to participate in a series of POC use cases throughout the rest of this month to demonstrate how Universal Digital Payment Network could be used to solve current and future challenges in integrating digital currency into daily business, banking, and payment scenarios, man. So what was a a current currency challenge, man, with the C-19 that just passed, you know, that really put a stop. I really put a stop on physical money, on physical currency, man. You know, they were saying that's how you could spread the C-19. You know, so they're trying to make this stuff digital. Integrating digital currency into daily business, banking, and payment scenarios, man. Going back to Revelations 13 and 16. You know, that no, or 17. Salakia. That no man might buy or sell. You know, so this UDPNs, or the Universal Digital Payment Network, this is going to be used when that CHIP is put into you. It's going to have your ability to buy and sell. Going to this digital ID article, man, because they're pushing to for this digital ID for your medical records, you know, your vital records, you know, who you are, to be made digitally, man. And this is going to be put in the CHIP, in the charagma, which is going to be put in you. Says first, members of the coalition are encouraging states to make their motor vehicle licensing agencies the core of building and then maintaining systems that interoperate with other state agencies and governments beyond their own borders. These agencies, for the most part, are already central to each state's identification processes, moderating learning curves. Vital record bureaus should also be updated according to the coalition members, having them create attribute validation services, vital records including birth, marriage, and death databases. You know, so they're trying to push for the digital ID they're trying to push for your identification process to be digital. You know, and to up the security and to and to get other government agencies, you know, to start uploading your information online digitally to you, man. So let me just go back. I actually want to go back to Revelation 16, you know, because this is going to prove this is another point that's going to prove it's physical, man. And it says what? And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sword upon the men which had the mark, the M-A-R-K of the beast, and upon them that worshipped his image. Now let's go into this word sword, man. So when you go into this word sword, it says what? A wound, ESP, a wound producing a discharge pus, a sore, an ulcer. You know, so let's highlight that word, look up. And what does it say? It says an open sore on an external or internal surface of the body caused by a break in the skin or mucous membrane that fails to heal. You know, so this is caused by a break in the skin. What's breaking the skin? The carox, that palisade, you know, that pointed stick, the hypodermic needle, to deliver that charagma, that CHIP, RFID CHIP technology, man. That's going to hold your vital records, your digital ID information. That's going to make your daily transactions, your daily payment scenarios, your everyday life, so-called easier, accessible, more accessible. So the MOTB is physical, man, and it's the RFID hip, the charagma. No, it's not spiritual. So with that, hopefully this was edifying. I just want to end up by saying, Kahalayam la Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Hashem Kakadash. Want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the Opholek and Akis, the truth throughout the four corners of this earth. Shalom.